Australia's banks are as diverse as they are the same. From large multinationals listed on the ASX, through to foreign-owned banks and Australia's regional banks. The one thing they all have in common is an understanding that customers must be put first, and that Australia's banks need to work hard to rebuild community trust. In 2016, Australia's banks determined that their banking code of practice, the industry standards and rules by which they serve their customers, needed to be completely rewritten.
The code is important because it sets standards for all of us to follow in the way we engage with our customers and the communities that we support.
Codes generally have a point of review, and in this case it had been brought forward by the ABA and the banks as part of the Better Banking initiative.
We all went in there with very different ideas and perspectives and experience, but all with this common purpose that we had to get a code that said something worth saying and was practical to implement as well.
The code is a step forward, and it's really pleasing to see it being approved by the regulator ASIC. I think the test of the code will be whether it actually results in improved compliance and enforcement and can pick up systemic issues in the banking sector and address them quickly before they escalate to financial scandals.
Look, I think the new code is much better. It's clearer, easy for consumers to understand, has addressed a lot of gaps that were in the code before and provided some really worthwhile additional protections for consumers and small business.
I think my favourite part is Chapter 14. I think it hasn't been renumbered, and it's the taking extra care of vulnerable customers. And to some extent, you might think we do a lot of those things already, but the issue is we don't say it and people don't know that they can come forward.
For the first time, all members of the Australian Banking Association will have to sign the new code and be bound by it in order to qualify for membership.
I would say that the code is not just a compliance document, it's about how you are treating your customers. It needs to be given life inside the bank, across the whole organisation. And also, you need to be stepping up and resourcing the monitoring of the code. You've built a new code compliance body, that's a really important body. And so resource that body so make sure it can do its work well.
Well, I think it's a step. I mean, I don't think in and of itself it won't restore trust, but it will absolutely help. You know, it's about the industry saying, hey, this is what we stand for, this is how we're going to live our lives, this is how we're going to interact with you. But it's that important piece about holding us to account for that. And I think one of the things we've got to do as an industry, and possibly haven't done so well in the past, is, you know, we stand up every year as individual companies and hold ourselves to account about our own financial performance. And we explain we've done well and what we haven't. And I think we probably, as an industry, have to do that a lot more in real English and real language that people understand, to say, hey, we made these commitments, this is where we've lived up to it, this is where we may not have, and this is where we've got more work to do.